In this first lesson, Mod 8 Lesson 1, we're going to be doing a slope review, which is a review of what we did earlier in the school year. All right, so if you remember when we talk about slope, we can find slope from a graph, we can find it from 2 points, or from an equation. Slope, again, is rise over run. We also use the equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then slope-intercept form is different than slope, but it's a good form because we can identify the slope right from the equation. It's going to be the value that's multiplying x. So if I have 2 points on here, let's say I have point A and point B. If I have a line, I can determine the slope of that line using rise over run. All right, in this first example, we're going to be looking at finding our slope using 2 points on a graph. Again, when we think of slope, we think of rise over run. We can also think about it in terms of like a direction, so how much we move up or down, and we're always going left to right like how we read a book, right? So I'm starting with the point on the left and traveling to the point on the right. So in this first one, I have a point on the left. I'm going to go ahead and move up or down, and then I'm going to move to the right. Okay, and notice I'm kind of making like this nice little triangle here. So when I look at how many units down I moved, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went down 5 units, and then I went to the right 4 units. So my slope is going to be -5 over 4. Same for the one on the left. So I'm going to move either up or down. In this case, I'm moving up and over. So I'm moving up 3 over 1. So my slope is going to be 3 over 1, or I would write it as 3. In these next few problems, we're going to give you a moment to try to see if you can find the slope using 2 points given on the graph. And here are the answers to the you try problems. In the next example, we're going to be using the slope formula to determine the slope between 2 points. So again, our formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It doesn't matter which point is point 1 or point 2 as long as you're consistent. So if I call this x1, y1, x2, y2, I can reverse the points as long as I'm just careful how I label it. And we're going to put this into our slope formula. So remember, the subtraction is part of the formula. So I have y2 and y1, so 14 and -2. And then I also have 18 and -16. If I have 2 subtraction signs, they become a positive. So I'm going to get 16 over 34. And then when we go ahead now and reduce that, we're going to get our answer to be 8 over 17. For the second problem, it's very similar concept. So I'm going to first label my points out. I got x1, y1, x2, y2. My slope formula, again, the subtraction is part of the formula. And then my y's are always on top, so 17 minus 3. And then on the bottom, -8 and -7. Okay, for the first top one, we don't have to change anything. We get that to be 14. On the bottom, when we do keep change, we get -1. And so our slope is just -14. the next two problems we're going to have you try to see if you can determine the slope of 2 points using the slope formula. And here are the worked out answers to the you try problem. The last type of problem we're going to see is determining the slope from a given equation. So if we have the y equals mx plus b, the value multiplying x when it's in this form is the slope. So for part A, you can see that x is being multiplied by -4. We got this -4 right here. And so our slope would be -4. Same thing with our other value here. So what's multiplying x is 1/3. So our slope would be 1/3. Now we're going to give you a little bit of time to try the you try problems. And here are the answers to the you try problems. All right, that completes the first section of Mod 8. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me or your teacher, or sign up for T-Bolt time.